Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's meeting of the Architectural Review Board of December the 19th, 2024. With that, please could we have a roll call, Renee?
Mr. Roach.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Doherty.
Here.
Chairman Murphy.
Here.
Let it be also known, President participating, our Town Manager Dunham, Assistant Town Attorney Nazaro, and myself. And hopefully Mr. Lyons will be coming soon.
Thank you. I hope you had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting of November the 21st. Are there any changes, alterations? Otherwise, could we have a motion to approve them, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Second.
Mr. Roach.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Doherty.
Yes.
Chairman Murphy.
Yes. Are there any additions, withdrawals, deferments, or arrangement of items for this morning's agenda?
No.
Okay. And as you can see, the dates in front of us, the next meeting is on January the 23rd in 2025. And so we move on to the public part of our meeting this morning. Ex parte communication. Has there been any?
No.
I have a declaration that I met Mr. Kay at an event at Place Soleil on Sunday. And he showed me the renditions on his phone, which don't do justice because trying to see a rendition on a phone, but that's the extent of the ex parte communication. And with that, Renee, please, can you administer the oath to anyone who wishes to speak today?
Stand, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. And so with that, we move on to the first application in front of us this morning. And please, would you take the... No.
That would be you, Mr.
Yeah,
Roach.
sorry, guys. I thought, you're first this morning. Yeah, sorry.
Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, 2750 Cardinal Circle. Sorry.
Well, I represent the owner at 2750, Mr. Curtis Dean. He's also present. We're looking to put a addition at the rear of the property. This is going to be a bathroom and a couple closets, a couple large closets. This will change the house from a 3-2 to a 3-3, and that way they can have a nice guest room on the other side of the house. As far as the architecture concerns, we did try to maintain the existing character of the house by keeping the same roof line, the same finishes. Visible impact from the street is negligible. You really can't even see it from the front of the street at all. This is what the addition will look like at the end, this portion, this area. We tried to keep it simple and consistent with the rest of the house. It's a 600 square foot addition.
That's slightly different than the picture we
Yeah.
were given previously. Not only the floral or plantings and on the fascia here, but have you added a window or two or something on the right side?
Well, the window was always there. It wasn't, we had received staff comment
Yeah.
that said that the on the rear of the building, it was not clear as to what that would be used for. So I did include in this rendering the pool equipment, and there would be like an outdoor rinse shower, which is what's currently there now on the outside of the house. So it was per staff comment.
Yeah.
That we made those changes.
So it's a window with shutters that I'm seeing. You put shutters on the
Yes.
side.
Yeah, there is a window there. There was always a window there.
Yeah.
It did have shutters.
No, it did not have shutters.
And also the shower and the pool equipment, because that was one of my comments on
Yeah, because we needed to
on the
pull it.
rendering we have.
Yes,
Okay.
understood.
And you're having to put a new drain field in for that new bathroom, is that right? On that
Yes,
side-
and
side
that will
yard?
be on that south side.
You couldn't tie it across to the other one in the
They
front.
tried to get the square footage, but it just wouldn't work. And that's a permitted septic system from the engineer.
Sorry, continue.
This is just simply a water feature that the owner would like. Again, that's where the closet would be. So we really wouldn't want light or any kind of penetration, or visible penetration in that area.
What about some high windows?
You really don't want high windows within. I mean, number one, it's only an 8-foot tie beam, so the highest the window could go would be 6'8". This isn't a 2-story volume, and then having any kind of UV light onto clothing could damage the clothing.
So the only window on that side would be sort of over where the bathtub is going
Yes.
to be.
Yes.
Can you define where the edge of the pool deck is compared to the edge of the proposed new building? Because on the plan, it's set back.
It does extend out, but that's also where this roof line meets. You see how we tied the,
Yeah, it's on the,
so that way it ties in.
right, it's actually the pool deck. On the rendition, it's flush, it's an extension of the edge. On the plan, the pool deck is set back. You go back to, sorry, A1.
A1.
The pool deck currently does go where the addition is, if that's kind of what you're leading.
Yeah,
at.
so.
So the pool deck currently is, pool
Yeah.
deck does come out to this area.
Right, you see
And this
the,
just pulls back.
yeah,
yes.
can you see that the pool deck is actually not flush with the edge of the building on the plan?
I do see that. I do see that.
So where is the pool deck going?
So that would be the, if you could go back to the rendering, I mean, right now, this current pool deck, we don't have any plan change or modification within it. We do understand that something would have to happen. My guess is we could probably reutilize or and actually bring it out because
It's just
that looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that would bring it back to the property line. So it gives it a little more deck space.
Yeah, because on the plans, it's not.
Yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't really within that scope in terms of what we were kind of designated to do, but that would make sense. And I think that we might mention that to the owner.
Right.
What about putting some faux windows on that wall? That's a large, a 33-foot wall.
Which one?
The wall with the water.
Yeah.
With the waterfall on it.
It's west facing.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, it's really out of character, but there's no other faux windows on the house. And so that would be something that would be in addition to, so I did try to keep it within that, the idea. Had he not put the waterfall, it might've been a suggestion that we do some type of articulation to it. But it wasn't really within the front character of the house. So that's why.
Well, it is a large wall in my feeling.
It's 17 feet is that wall. 17 foot is that wall
I thought it's
with the water,
33.
with the water feature. That must be a misprint because on page A4, it's 17 feet 4 inches.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the wall all the way across.
With the shower, are you
Yeah.
talking the wall with the shower curtains?
Well, it does have pool equipment. There'll be electrical, there's plumbing there. There's a window already currently there. We could certainly add some type of articulation to it, but there's going to be equipment there.
Because one of the things we try and avoid is just blank, walls.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
I mean, but again, with the equipment and trying to put electric there, coming up and down the wall and attaching it, it's.
Yeah.
That's a lot of space with one window. As you can see, we're not crazy about. There's 3 flat walls with only one window on all 3 of the walls. Understand it's a closet, but we're just thinking, what could you do to architecturally make it more appealing in case a neighbor looked through their fence to see it? I don't know what you said. You can't.
Well, I don't believe that I don't believe we
height
face
limit.
any neighbors though.
Right.
It's not really the neighbors aren't going to be seeing this. I believe it faces federal highway. So there's nobody behind us. And there's quite a bit of foliage there.
Do you want to continue through your full presentation and then we'll go from
I'm
there.
not-
Just in terms of, we've got the space, we've got the questions about the
I'm not,
wall. Is there anything else you want to point out?
not really.
Okay.
It's a relatively simple
Yeah.
project. It's, for its purpose of function and in terms of its design and overall.
So,
I mean, there is a septic system on the south side that makes it very difficult for him to do. He does need equipment here. He does have a shower. We can certainly, add some type of articulation for the shower, perhaps. Might add something, and we can balance it up on the other side. In terms of its articulation, but I think it would just really be some type of work.
Renee, have we had any comments from neighbours? I'm in Place Soleil. I got the letter.
We have not.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I see is that, we're all aware that it is large walls with minimal window fixtures there. And as you say, it may not be visible from the next door neighbor. It may not be visible from whatever. But when we approve something, or when we are asked to approve something of this nature, it becomes a precedent. And then somebody else comes in with a project and says, well, you approved, the Dean house, and that has a wall of such and such. And, and it just muddies our operation is what I view it as. And that's why I would prefer to see more windows, or faux windows, or, even though it is a bathroom, you can have windows that have glass that, you cannot see through, that are, that fuzzy glass.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand your point.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Dean, do you want to add to, because it's your building?
Yeah, I guess the one thing I keep coming back to.
Sorry, could you?
I need you to
know
go to
I
the
asked you, but could
microphone
you
for the
come to
record.
Podium, but
Thank you.
it's your building.
Yeah.
It's important we hear from you.
So with respect, Mr. Rochette, I understand your point. But what you can't see is that right here is the property line about 15 feet away, and that's an 8-foot block wall. So, I understand the point of a precedent, but that back wall is going to be visible to no one. And
Right.
again, as was pointed out, we're going to have pool equipment, shower there. It's kind of going to be almost a utility area for the residents. So, I guess we could put something there strictly for the purpose of satisfying, aesthetic appeal, but it won't be seen at all.
What's that? So there's a block wall to the right of
Yeah, to help me
Well,
understand
this is
that.
a
8
property
feet tall
line.
or 6 feet tall?
6 feet, I guess.
Okay.
And then the street, property outside of our subdivision is here. So again, you're gonna have about 15 feet of grass and then into the landscaping and that
So
wall.
basically, 15 feet there, and then you're on not on federal, but you've got federal highway.
Exactly, right.
Okay.
If we do something there, it would obviously be just to meet this requirement, and we'd be trying to
Yeah.
figure out what that might be that would have the least impact.
We have had applications, and Curtis has pointed precedents. We've had situations like this, and faux windows have solved the problem. Because we understand that, construction, putting in windows cost, we want to make it as easy as possible. But we have had situations where applicants have put faux windows in. Even though, as you say, it's federal highway, and it's a 6-foot brick, cement wall.
Sure.
But we have had that before, and that's basically satisfied that they've been approved, where people have to break up that space, because I know that's a different rendition, but when you look at it like this as well, that is a very long space with a blank.
The back wall, yes.
That's why I
So
invited you.
you'd have about 12 feet.
Yeah.
On either side. The shower taking up part of this one, and then pool equipment covering that one.
Yeah.
I guess if we're required to, we could put in a fake window.
Just to break up that area. It's just, and I know it can't be seen, but
Okay.
it's.
And then you wouldn't care about balance of. because we're
True.
definitely going to be off on that.
Yeah.
So if you look at what was provided in the agenda, that is what we were writing those staff comments about. What you see in the packet versus what has been proposed is completely different. You have lights on either side, you have an outdoor shower, you have pool equipment. So when we saw the blank wall with a water feature and then a blank wall with one small window, I mean, we understood the architectural constraints whereby you're not putting a huge window in a closet. I mean, these are closets that we're talking about. We're expanding that area for his and hers walk-in closets and a bathroom, I believe. So you're typically not going to put windows all over there. It was just in response to what we saw and, asking for some additional detail, which I think has been provided with, including the shower, which, was never discussed, but now it appears. That's great. That's what we'll approve. But that wasn't anything that I recall during our pre-meeting or what was provided on the submission. So, I mean, I think that what we see here is much more consistent with what we would see in Gulfstream rather than a blank wall that looks like it was designed by Lennar or something.
Thank you for that. Yeah, well, moving on.
So the only issue that I would have is I really don't see what the other side of the wall is, and that is a large blank space, and it does face the neighbor to the south. And I
You talking about the wall with the fountain?
the wall behind on the other side of the fountain. So you have 3 walls that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
adding. One is part of the house. Then the other 2, we have the one facing the pool, the one with the shower, and I'm saying the one on the other side of that, which continues a very large blank space. That's where I would want to see some articulation or faux windows if possible. And I think that the space that has been included on these other 2 walls is really sufficient.
Do we have a view of that?
I
do
I
not.
That would be
believe
very
so.
important for me to.
You kind of,
So that's a blank.
look
Correct.
at A4,
Four.
where you see the rendering, you see the front.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I
wall
do see it.
piece,
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing on. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
You got 3
Oh,
walls without
gotcha. Yep.
anything.
Yeah, you got 3.
You got a fountain and 1 window on 3
Mhm.
walls.
Yeah, I can see it.
Understand the closets.
Okay, so let's isolate what we're focusing on. First of all, sorry. No, if you want to say anything.
No, I'm just curious if you think that this, so we're just basically talking about this additional wall here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
With nothing on it.
The 17 feet.
Yeah, so similar to kind of like an idea, this is basically a similar situation, right? And we have this is right where we have all that septic system here.
Mhm.
So we're looking at, repeating a pattern like this or something and putting 2 of these faux windows here, matching that, and we'd be okay to, if it was something along those lines. Because this is a pattern, right? This is something that's consistent with the house. Take those 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
2 faux windows there.
Yeah.
And we'd be
That
okay.
would help there. And then the wall, the other wall, the longer wall, I guess if you put another faux window, it'd be hard, because that one
Well, the
window's an
longer-
odd
so
spot.
It is going to be tough on that
But
side.
you're,
That's equipment, and then
That's
this is
equipment.
shower. So there's really not that
Yeah.
much space in there.
Yeah, I can see. Could you go back?
And if you can go back to go to the photographs.
Yeah, that's
of
what
the-
I'd like to see.
Go to the existing photographs. If you go, you can see all the items all the way down. Keep going. I think it's the last
Am I-
slide.
last slide?
Yeah, last slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right now it's just storage.
Yeah.
There's,
That's
there's
weird.
gonna be probably some planters anyways. Once that gets in position, there's gonna be some plantings and things like that to help hide some of the equipment. So it looks nice out back.
Yeah. Sorry, Renee, can you go up?
Because we do have to have we'll probably put some kind of landscaping around it to kind of, mask sounds and things.
That wall there, that backyard, that's the one you're on at the moment.
This is the one
That's
that's
the-
gonna get extended
Yeah,
out.
we're looking, you were talking about putting potentially faux windows on your right wall.
On this wall that
Yeah.
would extend out Yeah.
Just to be built.
I mean,
Yeah.
And I
Furnace
presume that
is
around the shower, you're gonna have some kind of enclosure. So
Yes.
that would,
That-
that
that's six-
too would
that's-
break up that
that's 6
wall.
feet.
What
Yeah,
we're
that's this
trying
here.
to do is,
That's this here.
yeah.
So that's just gonna get put back or something new, but simple.
So I think you can sense that as it is here, we are looking for some articulations and the comments you've come up with just now, right? They haven't been kicked back totally. But in terms of, this is a level 2 application, so it stays, when I say stays here, if it's approved here, that's it. I'm not sure we have enough at the moment to approve it.
Right.
Your comments are really positive in terms of what you said you want to do, but because this is the final decision, I would like to see, or in fact, I'll ask Renee, if we ask here for specific input and we have that as a condition of a motion going forward, because it's a level 2, can the staff approve?
I believe we can. Trey?
I'm sorry, I was talking to the manager about something.
If they approve it with conditions today and they come back and meet those conditions, can we then just approve it
Yes,
as
you
staff?
can approve it with conditions upon staff review.
Okay.
Yes.
So should we, sorry, Greg.
I just, so you are going to put some kind of a structure around the shower?
Yes. Oh, no, that's for you, really. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So a little enclosure, you can close the door.
Just a small little.
Yes,
Yeah.
No, no, I understand.
Yeah, and I think all these articulations, the flow windows, the shower, that's why I asked, if we make it clear what we're looking for as the board, then you come back to staff,
Yes.
and as long as staff have the authority to approve, then I think we can move forward, but we need to be clear on what we're asking for you to work to.
Just to be clear on my end, apologize, you can interrupt if I say it wrong. You're looking for additional articulation on any of the flat surfaces. You'd like maybe a little bit more definition in terms of the elevations to show that that will exist. And more than likely, you'll just would like another rendering from both the one angle and the other angle, so you can see that those do exist, correct?
Yeah, I'll do a checklist. I think the shower enclosure, what that looks like. Potentially, I know it's going to be difficult on that new wall. I'm calling the new wall potentially a faux window, but I know the balance issue is a problem there. But also the long wall, which you identified to show the balance. Those would be my requests. Are there any others?
I think that would change it sufficiently.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, new renderings with all 3
Mr.
walls.
Got it.
Okay.
And then to clarify exactly what we would be trying to do. Can we look at this wall again, just to?
Yeah. Do you want to look at the plan of it?
Oh, there.
There.
Yeah.
So there's an existing window here.
Yeah.
What I might recommend is we do another fake window just like that on this added 17 feet. So one faux window on this wall, and then the elevation showing the shower enclosure and a little more specifics about what the back wall would look like.
Yeah. That would be Curtis.
Is that the wall? This is south wall that there's nothing on now at all. We don't have a picture of the south
That's the
wall.
west
This
wall.
isn't the south wall.
That's the
is
west
it?
wall.
No, we don't have.
That's right.
So,
this
and
is
then
the
we'll
west
provide
wall.
Yeah, that's the west wall next to Federal.
That would, thank you.
This is not the wall facing Federal.
That's the south.
This is
Is that the
south wall. Yes. So I'm proposing that we would.
Oh, sorry.
faux
Yeah,
window.
I can see it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it where the door is.
And that's where the shower is going to be eventually, right?
No,
no,
Not that wall. This is the side wall of the home.
this is the one that faces the street.
Nope.
No.
This faces the southern neighbor.
yeah, this is the
Okay.
So if you look at A1A, it's the wall on page A1A. It's the wall at the bottom of the page.
So we'd be adding 17 feet back in this direction. And what I'm proposing there is that we would put a faux window that would look like this window in that 17 feet.
Okay.
And then on the back wall that faces Federal, we'd really be doing nothing, no construction changes, but showing more detail on the elevation that shows the shower enclosure.
shower
Where the
enclosure.
pool equipment would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And leave the one window that, well, you're gonna put
Right.
one window in
Yeah.
there. The one over the tub.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the shutters
What-
were added to that
Yes.
as
Yes.
a function of the.
No, thank you.
Who is going to grasp
How are you gonna do that?
this one?
Do that, make a motion.
Well, I think let's not put the heavy lifting just on one person. Can I ask for a motion, please, which will be a motion to approve, as I understand it, but also with the recommendations, so we make sure we've got all the recommendations that we've covered just now that can go to staff. You up for it, Tom?
Yeah, okay, so I'll make a motion to approve a level 2 architectural site plan to permit the construction of a new 624 square foot master bedroom and closet addition to the existing home to include the following items to be brought back to staff to complete approval.
Yes.
They would include
The articulation,
Shower enclosure.
shower enclosure,
faux window.
faux window on the south side.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
that's that one.
I think
That was it.
there's already shutters on the window.
There's already.
So those are the only two things that we're thinking, right? The faux window, the shower enclosure.
Yes. Yes.
Is that right, Curtis?
Then
You
we
good?
need a second.
I will second that.
Mr. Roach,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes,
Vice Chairman Doherty.
Yes.
Chairman Murphy.
Yes. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
So we move on to our second application of the day. And this is, excuse me, at 2745 Avenue of Soleil.
Right around the corner.
So is this one. That's ironic, isn't it?
Right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Good morning. I'm Luis Rivera with Affinity Architects. On our first slide, we have a front elevation of the house of our residence. The second slide shows the location in regards to the neighborhood. The next slide shows the site plan, all the calculations required by the city, and the location of the house in relationship with the properties. Our next slide shows our first floor. The next slide, we have our second floor showing the setbacks from the first floor in relationship to the first floor. The second floor is set in, which was one of the comments we originally had. Next
Can I
slide.
just ask as a matter of interest?
Sure.
What's the ratio of the top?
It's 15% of the total width of the first floor.
And the total area as a percentage of the?
It's half of the, the maximum would be half of
It is.
the.
I just
yeah.
wondered if you'd used 50%.
No, we're below that. The next slide would show the colors and materials that we're using for this residence. You may have to zoom out a little bit. Yeah.
Is it
There's a-
gray slate roof, sort of gray?
Yeah, it's like a black antique, I think it's called.
Oh,
Okay.
Next slide shows the rear elevation and location of shutters and pool and landscaping. The next slide shows the 2D elevations of the front and the rear. The next slide, we have the side elevations.
Yeah,
And-
just on.
Sure.
On our plan,
Sorry?
they're both shown as the right south side elevation, and the bottom one is, I presume, the north elevation. Is that on yours?
That was pointed out yesterday by Mr. Lyons. I think it was a typo.
Is it a typo?
typo.
Oh, that is reversed?
They both say
They
right.
both say
south side
right side
elevation,
elevation.
top and bottom.
I'm not sure if it does on your slide.
It does on
No,
what we have in front of us.
no.
Okay.
So the top is the right and the bottom is the left.
Top is right,
Yeah.
bottom is left. So
Yes. On ours, it looks
Okay.
right.
I think it's correct on this, but it was incorrect on
Okay.
the first sheets.
Okay.
That's what Mr. Lyons had an issue with
Sure.
yesterday.
Well, hopefully that's clear now. And, our next slide is in regards to the landscape of the house.
Good morning.
Morning, Paul.
For the record, Paul Crashane. I have big shoes to fill for Louis Blaus, who's with family in Greece for the holidays.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start in the back of the house. We've got a 50-foot long dock, which is less than what the maximum amount of the dock is. So the maximum is 71, and this is 50 foot. The dock or the seawall will be at 5.5. Okay, going to the landscaping, we've got 2 Sylvestris palms flanking the pool area and also the fire pit area. Up against the retaining wall, we have a podocarpus hedge to soften the wall so you won't see the wall from the water side. Coming up onto the house, up on either side of the covered loggia, we have 2 Adenidia palms, again, flanking that and to soften the second floor. Coming on the sides, we've got an 8-foot calophyllum hedge. So it's really a tree hedge. So it'll be an instant tall hedge when it's planted.
Sorry, Paul.
Yes.
The 8-foot. Can you just point that out again, please?
Yes. So along the property line,
Yeah.
it's a 8-foot high
Got it.
calophyllum hedge.
Yeah.
And it actually goes down to 4 foot. So there's a, so for your neighbors, they don't see.
Yeah.
So that'll be entirely on this property. What's on the neighbors? Have they already got a hedge there or not?
There is an existing hedge on this side, and the owners of the K's have talked to the neighbors to work something out as far as, having that hedge, changing the hedge out, yeah. And it's on the K's property. So this here is really just a melange of plantings that aren't very nice looking, actually, existing. So I think this is going to do a really nice formal enclosure for the property.
And what was the hedge material?
It's a calophyllum hedge.
A calophyllum.
Calophyllum hedge, yes. So it's actually it's a beautiful dark waxy leaf.
Do we see that a lot, or?
There's calophyllum trees.
I'm just honest with you. It seems like
Yeah.
everybody's doing
So in lieu,
Is it a small thin blade sort of? No?
yeah, it's got a leaf like this,
like that.
and we've used them up in Palm Beach, and we actually are doing a remodel in Royal Palm, and they actually have a beautiful hedge. It makes a really nice hedge, really nice hedge. And you can get instant height rather than like a clusia.
It takes forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so going to the front, the overall landscaping intent is a very tailored and layered, keeping it really clean and simple, but having more mass plantings. We've got 2 very large Sylvestris palms flanking the front door, and under planting, that's going to be all very sheared and clipped. We've got Japanese blueberry on either side of the structures, giving it more of a, majestic column type of feel. And then we have the 2 large 22 to 24 foot live oak on either side, which would be the street trees that we are proposing.
Paul, on the front door
Yes.
entrance, what's the size of the trees that are either side of the door arches? Because on I'm just looking at the A0.0 and
18 to
they aren't
20.
on there. No, next, as in, they're centuries for the want of a better
The
word.
Sylvester palms?
No, further back. If you look at the door entrance on LP4, I've got, and it's the front west elevation, the front door. If you look at the front door,
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's see what those are. Those are Garcinia accent, they're not trees really, they're
No, they're-
accent shrubs,
yeah, I
Garcinias.
was going to say the best description is Christmas tree size.
Yes, so
Right.
those are 5 to 6 foot tall.
Right, because on the A.00, they're 5 to 6 feet tall, and on the LP4, they look about 3 feet, 4 feet, perhaps.
No, they're 5.
They're five. Okay. Yeah, it was just the symmetry. You know, you've got the symmetry going along, and it looks really good in the front. Sorry, that's a qualitative statement. You've got the balance. That's
Balance,
what I'm
yes,
looking for.
yeah.
And I just wondered what it was on either side of the front door. Okay, thank you.
Where is the location of the 50-foot soon to be demolished
Mhm.
tree?
Okay, if we go, here we go. So this is the existing invasive black olive.
Yeah.
we'll call it. So this is it. This is the one that's
Yeah.
coming out. So, and this is the tree, ficus tree that's on the neighbor across the street.
Yeah.
Which is, huge at this point, but hopefully that will be trimmed back for the case. So they're not shading the case too much, but so this is where we propose 2 live oak trees, which will expand the coverage as far as the streetscape.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna help continue the streetscape, having it on either side of the property.
That was a question that Mr. Lyons had yesterday. He wanted to know how big those oak trees were going in at.
Yeah, so if you see here, they're going in about 22 to 24 feet. And you can see, this is our landscape right here. So it's a very large live oak tree. They're field grown.
It says 18 to 20 in the.
Yeah, he was worried about the canopy.
Yeah, it's, right, I know it's on 2 different slides, so it'll be a 22-foot tree.
And what about
The
the
live
Royal
oaks.
Palm?
The
live
live
area?
oaks, yeah, on
Because it says 18 to 20 in your proposal.
it says 18 to 20.
Yeah, there'll be a minimum of 22 feet.
Okay.
And is there a Royal Palm coming out somewhere? He mentioned that.
Yes, so all the existing palms are going to be removed. They're in the footprint of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did not like that. So I'm just speaking for him since he's not here. He was very concerned about all these Royal Palms being taken out.
And the Royals are in the footprint, yeah.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah, yes.
Are you having to rebuild the seawall?
New seawall, yes, correct.
It's in already or no?
There's an existing seawall, but it would be rebuilt, yes. And raised.
And raised.
Correct, yeah.
I can't tell from here. Is there sort of a step down from the
There is, yes.
fireplace area down to the dock? Sort of?
Yeah, from the,
You can see it on the rendering?
Okay.
Am I
Yeah.
going up or down?
we're good here, if everybody can see. So this pool deck here, there'll be a 6-inch step here, so this is all raised. And then you'll be going down 24 inches down to the lower seating area,
Right.
which is gonna be flush with the dock.
Cheers. I think
Yeah,
this,
Renee, if you could go to the back rendering as well. Yeah. And zoom out, yeah. Yeah, you can see this, this is more or less all flush around, and then you have the steps going down to the lower.
and just to confirm,
Yeah.
senior ratio, that's 40% glass
I
coverage.
think
But
we're
Yes,
less,
yeah,
we're less than
I had to
30%.
eliminate a couple of windows in order to
Oh, for glass.
comply, yeah.
yeah, because there's a lot of glass there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but we have to.
You had them
Sure, yeah.
pull back the glass, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I eliminated 2 windows in order to comply with
Okay.
the calculation. Yeah.
And going back to the landscaping, obviously, it's an invasive. When it's got to go, it's invasive. We know that. It is going to have an impact as you drive into Avenue of Soleil. It's going to seem a lot brighter, and the canopy is going to go. One of the things I do like is the fact that you've done the projection of where the growth is expected to be, because one of the things, as you know, we ask for is what's it going to be on day one,
Right.
and subsequently trimming and whatever. But we have had applications where people put it in at 3 feet and say in 20 years' time it's going to be 30 feet.
Right.
So I think that's a very good point you've put there, and I'd actually like to see that moving forward. And if there's any future application, I think it's to see where it will be, predicting the future. Can you just go over Paul's point again, please? What he said about the Royal Palms.
Well, they're on LP2.
Yep.
I guess the existing house is much closer to the water. That light, all those, there's pictures of the trees being removed.
Yeah.
Pictures.
Yeah. You can see what's coming out.
They're all in the footprint.
Yeah.
Of what you're going to do in the home.
Yep.
Borrow somebody's
Sure.
Oh, I have it here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
LP2.
I just don't have it on the.
Yeah, I've got LP2. Obviously.
I think that, I'm wondering how in the heck are they there, but the house must be further back from the road.
That must be.
Yeah.
The existing house is a lot more narrow
Yeah.
than
Gotcha.
what we're proposing.
And when was it-
Narrow. Gotcha.
Narrow front to back.
Yep. Yep.
So it's skinnier, so it allows more of the palm tree.
And it is a historic house in terms of.
Correct.
No, in terms of it's been there forever. What was the year? Was it 73? 61. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's,
Oh, first one built?
yeah, it's so distinctive when you
Yeah,
drive in.
wow.
Times move on. Okay. Sorry, Paul, you were saying about, just to go back to the LP2.
Yeah.
Just the Royal Palms that
So
Paul
the
was on.
circle, number 6 is.
Yeah.
guess,
Number 6 is, yeah.
Number 6. Yeah.
They must be in the front yard of the current house, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, the front, the house is more of a courtyard type of, the existing house has a courtyard landscape area.
Mm-hmm.
So our concerns about the black olive tree are more that it's just big and we need to remove big trees because they're not really, they're messy.
They're messy, they're invasive.
Yeah.
We understand all that.
And
You know,
not native.
And it's invasive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Destroyed everything on my property,
Yeah, yeah.
In Spain, they,
including my car.
yeah,
Yes.
Spain, everything.
Yes.
No, they have no sense of
You
humor.
don't like those olives, huh?
No sense of humor.
Yeah, we from a visual point of view, stunning.
Yeah.
From a practical point of view, terrible. And it's invasive. So, and we push towards native plants. And
I
landscape.
love the live oaks. I think that's
Yep.
nice.
And we've got
What rough, like, what a diameter, or do you know?
Yeah, it'll be big, it's 6 to 8 inches.
6 to 8 inches, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years would a tree that roughly be at that point?
That's a
Do you
very
know?
good question, I don't know.
Okay.
So
I
Greg,
could guess, but I'm not gonna guess.
Just
we
curious.
put one in out front here. That's
Yeah,
pretty big. How big
and
was
I'm
that?
sitting here trying to remember.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I was trying to guess too.
but from the picture, it looks very much like that one did
Looked when we
in the
went
field
out.
when we were out searching for
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably call Anthony and he could tell me, but I don't want to interrupt things.
Well, perhaps if we approve this, perhaps for the commission meeting.
Yeah.
Are there any more points, discussions? In that case, please could I ask for a motion?
I will make a motion to recommend approval of a level 3 architectural site plan based on a finding that the construction of a 5,350 square foot single family dwelling with a 2.5-car garage, swimming pool, including new landscaping and hardscape, meets the minimum intent of the design manual and applicable review standards with the following conditions. Any minor modifications to the approved landscaping shall be submitted to the town manager for review and approval, and any major modifications shall be brought back to the ARPB for review and approval prior to commencement of the landscaping.
I'll second.
Renee, please.
Mr. Roach,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Doherty.
Yes.
Chairman Murphy.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank
It
you.
was great.
Yeah.
Very attractive.
We now move on to items by staff.
Thank you, Chairman Murphy. Just wanted to thank everyone for their participation in our ad hoc massing recommendation that we made to the town commission earlier this month. They went ahead and adopted that in full. So we're going to go ahead and make those changes.
They understood what I was saying.
Malcolm is very, very persuasive. So he got up there, did his song and dance, and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
Absolutely.
Oh, you presented. Okay.
Yeah.
They were actually very complimentary,
Right.
and the mayor mentioned that it was a very difficult issue that we've been struggling with for a number of years, and this seems like a really great way to address those. So I just wanted to thank everyone who was involved with that.
So remind me again what the timing is for it to be enforced.
So we do have zoning in progress. So right now, anything that would be applied for, like a 2-story house, would be either meet the criteria or it would be held off until we make a zoning change. So that is in progress. The earliest we could get it done is February if we have first reading in January, and then local planning agency and commission second reading in February. So early this year. But as of right now, we do have a hold on any 2-story structures that would have more than the recommended 30%. It's just that no one could take advantage of a single story until we do get those on the books.
And actually, Trey, you've covered my question. Was going to be at the last minute. It says there's going to be a zoning in progress resolution. Was that covered at the commission meeting?
It was, yes, sir.
Great.
Well, Paul's who taught us that you could do a second story that's 30% and the place is really works. Wasn't it his project sort of to do that?
That's right. And
Paul's
Yes.
project.
Yeah.
If he believes the market will accept that, and that's one of the points
we
made.
also have the end user that we just approved, and that was under 20%.
Was it?
Oh, really?
It was 779 square feet on the second story of a 5,300 square foot
Yeah.
house. So
Yeah.
like 18%.
I, in fact, during the meeting, asked him, does this even come close to meeting the requirements that we just, for the, for
Yeah, it
that?
does.
And
It's
it
easy.
does.
But those new zoning rules will only be the core.
Yeah, correct.
The core.
The overlay district.
Correct.
They could still do 50%
Sure.
if they
Yeah.
wanted to. And
Yeah.
But yes,
So he could have done 50%.
Yeah, that's why I
but he
asked
ended
him.
up at 17%,
Yeah,
just
that's why I
because
asked him
that's
the
all they
question.
really
correct.
Yeah.
wanted.
But obviously they wanted more on the ground floor because they
Mm-hmm.
still have to comply with the FAR. I mean, they had, what was it? They were 25 feet under the FAR allowed. And so they wanted more on the ground floor, which is what we're pushing for. Okay. Thanks, Trey. Board members. Well, there's one board member who does have to say, this is my final ARPB meeting, and I'd like to thank everybody for their help. It has been,
Thank you, Malcolm.
It has been,
Thank you.
It
We're
has
sorry-
been,
sorry you're
Great job.
leaving.
it has been an interesting 15 years. And also, I'd like to thank Rita Taylor as well for all her help and Bill in the previous iteration of what we do. And so, once again, thank you, everybody. It has been a real pleasure. And with that, the public, I'd like them to be quiet.
We love you, Malcolm. We love you. We miss you.
15 years.
Yeah,
That's,
you don't get that from manslaughter, don't you?
yeah. That's
Wait till you see your retirement benefits.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And so,
where is that plaque? Where do you want the
oh,
plaque?
yeah.
So before you adjourn, I just want to say we will be without a chair for our next meeting, so we can either reorganize then, or we can wait until March and have Mr. Dockery as our vice chair serve until the regular reorganization. But I'd leave that up to you to think about, and we can put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Well, we're going to be losing a very, very valuable person. And Tom, you've been a chair, haven't you?
Yeah, but you're the vice chair.
So
You're the former chair.
So is Paul.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a swing at it?
Yeah, I've substituted, but I'm just afraid that my absence in the summer is I feel, I guess I have flown back sometime for meetings, but I don't know that it would be the right thing to do. And I don't care to be a chairman, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I like helping on the committee, but I don't know that.
So why don't you serve as the vice chair until March? Give us time to think about it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you step in until March.
I'll step in the
Until
meetings
March, because-
and run them until
And
March.
also, I think one of the discussion points are there are some good alternates who to come on the board? Because in March, do all the board get reconsidered as well?
We do, but we have, I think, Mr. Roach is coming off,
Yeah.
so I don't know
What?
if he's renewing.
Are you really?
I don't know. Yeah, he's up for renewal.
No, it's up. You're up.
Yeah,
My
he's up.
time is up.
His time is up.
But it can be renewed.
Yeah.
Yes, continually.
Yeah, and I'll have to look. I think Malcolm's was coming up as well.
Yeah, mine was coming up.
So I think
In fact,
those were the
Tom's
only
right, because
two.
a new regulation, there had to be something the commission did to make sure that you and I, Tom, got our extension because for this last 4-year, 8-year period.
What are the terms?
3 years.
The
3-year
Mhm.
terms.
Well, if we wait till March and you'll fill in, which would be great.
Yeah.
In that timeframe, then we can decide.
But we have a number of,
Well, we're
We've got
gonna bring
we've got
somebody
all-
new is gonna come on for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, we've got-
onto the.
We've got alternates, and I think
Right.
and also they've got some experience, but also to get them, if we go to March, that's two meetings. If we can get them on. I think it's important that we get new blood coming through.
to sit.
I believe the
to
mayor's
sit- at
talking
least
to them.
Sit in to
Yeah.
feel comfortable
Yes.
with
The
everything.
mayor's on it.
He's talking to them to see who they're going to appoint from an alternate position
Yeah.
to a.
Good.
Well, the alternates are here. I mean, we
Yeah,
have.
Terry's been on often. Katie's been on now quite a few times,
Mhm.
and it's definitely proven her attention to detail and the way she's. Yeah. So I think there's a good group, and Michael from the ad hoc committee, he might want to come on. I think.
Yeah, he has put in a letter,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's next in line or not.
As far as how new blood affects the chair and vice chair position, we had a great time with Mr. Smith as chair. He has the experience. He's been on for a while, so we'd be happy to have everyone tap him for that role. I mean, it's just running the meetings, and you just have someone experience. While we maybe have some new members, we haven't had new members in the permanent seat in a while. It's nice to have a steady hand at the wheel, but that's my unasked for opinion.
No, it's
Yeah,
important.
that's one person's opinion there.
So one may come up for sure, and they may put a new one on even as
Do we
an
know what
alternate.
Paul's intention?
Correct.
We do not, but it was,
He's just pretty occupied right now. I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
I know,
he wants to be on. I would love to have him be chairman.
Yeah.
I don't know if he-
Yeah.
I think he's really busy.
Yes, I know.
I think with Susie's help, it's an
Yes.
issue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that,
But that may change.
Yeah. So, Bob, you're going to step in for January and February.
Yep.
Yep. We see about who we can get coming on board. And then in March, when the natural progression takes place, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Right.
And I will be out there heckling. I won't. I should. If the plans go right, I'll actually be quite a few miles away.
Has
Yeah.
Brian been to a number of meetings yet?
He's
or-
been to a couple.
When he came.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, once again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mel.